back on those things. So I have three kids. My oldest just turned 9 last month. My middle girl will be 7 on Valentine's Day, and I have a 5.5-year-old son. So we had three kids in 3 years. My body was a wreck. I mean, that alone was just more than we had planned. Um, but I also was diagnosed in that same 3-year time span. I was diagnosed with celiac disease, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's, and I was having migraines, optical migraines, where I would lose my vision for 24 hours. And the straw that broke the camel's back was when my oldest was 14 months old. She went into her first anaphylactic food allergy attack, and it was the scariest day of our lives. And that just kind of catapulted us into this journey that, I tell people that I became a crunchy mom, not because I wanted to be a crunchy mom, but because we were forced into it. Food labels controlled everything in our house. We had all the allergy appointments, all the testing, and we basically lived on medication, EpiPens, inhalers, and with myself, it was steroids and injections and having my joints drained. And it just became normal. And so I want everyone here to you're here because you want this, right? You're here because either you've had amazing success with the products, you want to have amazing success with the products, you've started to grow your business, you are inspired by other people, and you want this to happen for you. And I think that it's so super important when you're doing this, when you're sharing this journey with people, that you take a step back to where you were before. Because I thought that that was normal. I thought that all those things, now telling that story, all those things that we went through in that short of a time span, I thought that that was just going to be our life because people were telling me that that was going to be our life. When I went to the doctor's office, it was, well, you had 3 kids in 3 years. You should be tired. Well, yeah, but I should also still be happy. Like, I should also still be doing things with them. My joints should be working. I should be able to carry them up and down the stairs. No, I'm not depressed. I just want a better way. Like, there's got to be something that's better for us. But when I was in that cycle, I felt like I couldn't break out. And you're here, guys, because you have something that put you here. You had a struggle, you had something that you wanted that was more. And you being in this moment, on this team, you guys have amazing, amazing leaders. Being in this moment on this team is not an accident. And if you're feeling like, I know that I felt like I was really angry for a long time. I grew up in a Christian home, but I was angry with God, if I'm being honest, for a really long time with all of the things that we were going through. And I had no idea at those moments how much He was preparing me for where I was at and where I was going. And if you're going through something right now, I just feel like somebody needs to hear this. If you that you feel like is a struggle, you're not sure how to get out of it, if you're not sure what this season of life for you is for, it is absolutely for a reason. Preparing you for something that's so much bigger than we can imagine. Because Plexus is not just products. It's not just $39.95. It's not just a probiotic. It gives you a way to answer a prayer for other people. It gives you a way to be more for your families, for yourself, for your friends. And that's something that I never. But had I not gone back to where I was, and if I didn't keep going back to where I was, we couldn't pass that on to other people. And so when I started this journey, I resigned from teaching. And a week after I resigned from teaching, let me back up just a minute. When I resigned from teaching, a week later, I found out that my son was on the way, that we were pregnant again. I just walked away from my teaching income. We had 2 girls. We had built a house 2 years before, so we had our mortgage. And I was having to give myself daily injections because I also have blood clot. And so there was just all these things. Stress was huge in those moments in our life. And I had started a vinyl business and selling decals on Etsy. And I had someone 2 years later came to my house and she bought something off me because she was trying to edify me for purpose. I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what redeeming meant, none of those things. My mind, I just thought, okay, she bought something off of me. Now I need to buy something off of her. And so I bought a bottle of probiotic and I bought a bottle of BioCleanse, and I rolled my eyes the entire time that I bought it because I hated seeing the posts. I was never going to do the products. Knew they were not going to work for me. And guess what? It didn't work because I never had anybody follow up with me. I had no idea why I was doing it, other than I was doing it to prove it wrong. Well, I proved it wrong. I did not connect to my why. I was only ordering because she had ordered something off of me and I felt like that was the right thing to do. So I want you to realize out of that when you get somebody to order, that's the easy part. Your work is not over when you've gotten somebody to order those products. Because I talk to people all the time that have had people do just that. And I adore my sponsor. She is my connector. She brought me here. She does not really work the business, and that's fine. That was her version of more. She dabbled in it a little bit, and without her, I wouldn't be here. But if you're here, make the commitment to show up for people. Do not just go for that carrot. Don't just go to sign somebody up because they're going to give you 20 points for convention contest right now. Don't just sign somebody up because they're going to give you 10 points as a customer. You need that next rank in your PV. If you are reaching out to people, show up for them. Help them connect to their why. From the very second that you send that first message, you are teaching people about this path. You're teaching people about what they can expect from you. And guys, if you peace out on them after they send that message that they've ordered, that does nothing for them. They need you in those moments. So if you haven't figured out, and it's different for everybody, I cannot tell you a system that's going to work for you. You're going to have to try 10 different systems. Maybe it's writing it in a calendar. Maybe it's putting the reminders in your phone. Explore those options, but find out what works best for you. 6 months. I quit for 6 months. Never once had anyone follow up with me, ask me to come back, do anything. And I started doing research and I found out about leaky gut. And I knew that I needed to give the products an honest try. Being a math teacher, I signed up as wholesale because I wanted to save the extra money on the triplex because that was a huge discount for us and I knew that I needed to give it time. Within the first couple of weeks when I really committed and I knew what my why was, things completely changed for me. I was waking up with energy. I wasn't grouchy. My joints weren't aching. And I called my mom and 2 other friends and I had them sign up with me. And I went silver without knowing what it was. And my second upline messaged me and she just said, "Hey, you just went silver. You should start posting about this," because nobody else in our area was doing this. So it was kind of exciting to see somebody have it happen with them. And so I messaged her back and I said, "I will never do this. Don't message me. I'm never going to be part of network marketing. I don't want to be a salesperson. That's not who I am." And she messaged me back and she said, "You're a shares person. All you need to do is share this just like you're doing. Know the people that you are reaching out to and follow your instincts with them. Keep it super simple with people, guys. We overcomplicate this so much. The tools that you got at Super Saturday, use them. You don't need to be the expert. And that's something that I've made mistakes with. I thought I needed to do it all, know it all. You don't have to. But know who you're reaching out to. And you can go to their Facebook page. Like if they're always with people, they're probably a blue personality. Study those color personalities. I'm sure that you guys have done that. But know the people that you're reaching out to and how to connect with them, because that's a huge in inspiring them to do something. I really didn't know what I was doing or what I wanted out of this. But when I got my first paycheck, I was under $500, and I thought that I was doing something illegal. Didn't that you could really make money with it. And so I that kind of cast that first vision to me. But I ended up at Super Saturday. I don't know why, 3 years ago, my first Super Saturday, and it changed everything for me. If you are on this call and you have not registered for convention yet, I am urging you to register for convention and to get there. Guys, it is not just a saying that events build leaders. There is something that is so different about being in a room with people like minded that are inspiring you, that are challenging you, that are motivating you, that are wanting the same things as you. If you think that you can't make it work, if you think that maybe it's a money issue for you, you're just getting going, message Kate, message Kristen, message your upline, and come up with a plan, because you absolutely, absolutely can earn your way to convention and have every single bit of it paid for if you want it. And the reasons that you're going to want it are really tapping into your why. I know that people are going to tell you this. I know that they're going to tell you to dream really big, but I want to challenge you with that. Have you really dreamed big? Have you thought about the things that you really want out of this? Because I can bet that there are more of us on this call tonight, and I still do this, that you dream based on your bank account and how little there might be in there, because I was there. You dream based on your town size. You think because, I don't have any stoplights. There's no way, like maybe I can get to gold. Maybe I can find 20 people, but there's no way I can be a jewel in this company. I don't know that many people. Stop feeding yourself that script, because we are part of something that is set apart from every other company in this industry. You could not find something that is set up better than Plexus is, with the comp plan, with the way that our levels work, with the way the balanced business works, with our buy-in for $40. Like, I've heard so many horror stories, guys, about $5,000, $10,000 buy-ins just to be part of a company, and then they have to do all the things. Like, we don't have to ship stuff out. Like, there's so many things that Plexus does with us. So dream really big. Close your eyes for 30 seconds. Where do you want to be in a month? Where do you want to be in 6 months? Where do you want to be in a year? And who do you want with you? If you can close your eyes for just a couple of seconds and think about that person, like, I still have people that I believe so much in, and I want them with me. And you know what? Even at this level, I still haven't reached out to them as bold as I could. But they don't know what this opportunity is like unless we tell them. Think back to all those preconceived notions that you had about network marketing, about Plexus, about supplements, and why you did or didn't need them. What changed that for you? What did somebody say to you? What happened in your day? And then think about how you can transfer that to the people that you love, that you want on. I know that this might sound a little bit bold and cumbersome, and I don't necessarily mean it to feel like a burden, but more of something that empowers you, because it empowers me and gives me chills every time I think about the absolute blessing that we have in front of us to change things for other people. I read a quote the other day that says that we don't just sell. I'm reading Draw the Circle. It's a 40-day prayer, but with Mark Batterson prayer challenge. And in one of the parts of it, it says, like, we don't just sell something. You don't just do something. You get to be a part of unanswered prayers. And how powerful is that? The things that people go to bed at night worried about, stressed about, you have the answers for that. Be bold. about sharing that with them. And it is not selfish. It is not selfish to offer those things to people. I thought that for a really long time. That was something that I had to really overcome, was thinking like, oh, people just think that I'm selling this to them to make ends meet. Yeah, you know what? I do make money off of this. And that's not a bad thing. It's supporting my family while I'm helping them do the same thing with theirs, whatever that means for them, whatever their version of more is. But tap into those things for you. Allow yourself to go there. And it's going to be scary. And it's going to be something that pushes you past comfort zones. But I just saw Lindsay just popped up in my screen with her little guy on her hip. And every single time something like that happens on a call, it makes me so dang emotional. Because in what other world could my kids be sleeping down the hallway? Could I be present with them every single day, pick them up from school? In what other world could you have your baby on your hip while you tap in to a team call? Like, that's huge. And how many other people want that? And we get to share that with them. Like, if that doesn't give you chills throughout your entire body, like crazy, right? We get to do that. Set your goals down, guys. If you know, I never thought that I would be able to say that I was a Sapphire ambassador until I started believing in myself, until I started believing that I really could do it. Whatever your next rank is, write it down, put it in front of you. I don't care right now if you are a silver ambassador. You have 3 people on your team. You are blessed to have 3 people on your team. If you have 1 person on your team, if you have no people on your team yet, speak it into existence. Write it down and put it there. And the more that you tell yourself that it's going to happen, it will happen. We wrote down, I have a dream board. I would show it to you if I was down in my office, but in front of my desk, I have my affirmations. And in those affirmations last summer, or 2 summers ago now, we put down, we are a top life-changing team in Plexus. For me in that moment, I was thinking like, someday I'm going to be diamond. And you know what, guys? If it takes me 10 years from now, and I mean this with every ounce of my being, because somebody needs to hear this, stop comparing. I don't care if somebody did it in 4 months. More power to them. That doesn't mean that I can't do it. That means that I can do it. And if it takes me 10 years to get there, that is the biggest blessing. Because 10 years in this company beats a lifetime for me of 8 to 5s where I never see my kids. I live that life. I don't want that life for me. That's not my version of more. And so we wrote that up on the board. 2 weeks later, we hit number 1 on the charts for the Plexus Scoop as the top building bonus team in Plexus. We spoke that into existence. I believe that with every ounce of my being. If you want to be a gold ambassador, you write it down, you work for it. It's one thing to say that you want to be a gold ambassador, it's another thing to follow it up with action, guys. If you want to be a gold, how many messages are you sending out a day? If you want to be a diamond, how many messages are you sending out? Who are you reaching out to? Who are you building relationships with? And don't you dare settle for anything or think that you don't have a message that somebody needs to hear. One of my runners on my team called me 2 nights ago and she said, well, I don't think that I can do this. I have a doctor that's asking me questions. They're coming to you. They're asking you questions. That means they believe in you. You need to believe in you. There's nothing in this that said, and Jessica Heffley, I always think of her. In what world could I'm in pajamas already. I've been in pajamas, well, since 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon when I picked my kids up from school, if I'm being honest, because it changed into pajamas and we had a snow day today. So I got out of one pair and got into another pair after I took a bath. And I make as much as a brain surgeon. I will take that every single day of my life. But it started with just a little bit of belief, guys. And out of anything, I just want that for you. Like if I could just reach through and grab your face and tell you that you're worth it, you're worth it. But determine your version. You know, if you listen to Rachel Hollis, you know she says this all the time, but your version of more. Not Kate's, not Kristen's, not mine, yours. Whatever that is for you. And know that it's okay. If it takes you 10 years, it takes you 10 years. If it takes you a year, you know, I give this example all the time. Brooke Hemingway has become one of my absolute biggest mentors. Like that girl just is phenomenal. She joined 2 months before me. She's already made it to Diamond once and made it back to Sapphire. And you know what? I could look at that and I could think, man, what is wrong with me? No. Instead, I look at it and I think that girl is my sister and she is an inspiration. And because she did, I still can. And that's what I want every single one of you guys to know. You can do it. Read your books, listen to a podcast, invest in you, and time block things. That's the last thing that I just want to leave you guys with because I get on squirrel tangents and I just talk and talk and talk. But I know that I've seen babies on this call. I know that people have jobs and you're thinking, okay, that's super fun, but you are home with your kids all day now, so you have time while they're at school. Mm-mm. The beauty of this is that there is time freedom in this. When I get up in the morning and I get in the shower, I turn on a podcast and I listen to it while I'm showering, while I'm getting ready, while I'm doing the laundry. You know, Alexa is playing, my phone is playing. That for me is that time. But I want you to really look at your day and look where you can time block things and be intentional with it. And do not feel guilty about it. Set goals with your family so that they know what you're doing and why you're working for this. And if you have 30 minutes to work, take that 30 minutes and work and be all in. You know, before you go to bed at night, think about your 10 people that you're going to reach out to, your 10, 5, 3, 2, 1s. Think about what you're going to do in the next day. Have it mapped out. So when you sit down, you know what's going to happen in that 30 minutes, in that 45 minutes, whatever time you have. And if that's staying up after your kids go to bed or getting up earlier, then you do it because it's worth it. But guys, when you are with your family, be with your family and set those boundaries. There are going to be seasons when you are trying to rank up. Like I will never forget the month that we hit Sapphire. I don't think I showered for 30 days. Like if Facebook had scratch and sniff, nobody would have been going to my page because we were all in and it was busy. You're going to have those seasons, but that should not be any day. You know, that should not be every single day for you. You should be playing games with your kids. You should be enjoying life. Jill Renfro one time said to me, Bree, you're not a brain surgeon and no one is bleeding out on your table. And it was one of the best pieces of advice that I got. A message can wait. It really, really can. You don't have to answer every single message every single time. Like if your kid is on your hip or you have something that you have to do it. Be present. Those people will wait. They really, really will. If they were meant to be, I'm not saying do not answer them for, weeks and weeks and weeks. Like that's not building your business. Be intentional about it. But know that time blocking is available and you want to teach them that, right? It begins the moment that they message you. And if you're teaching them that they're always, always, always going to be able to reach you, that's not sending them a message that they're going to want to be a part of because they're not going to want to have to always, always, always be available. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Oh, that was good, right? It was 25 minutes. Sometimes I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, Brie, you just did 45 minutes of squirrel walks. My team actually has when I start talking to them, they put up squirrel emojis in my chat messages because they know that I get on them. So 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. This looks different for everybody, but 10 minutes of personal growth every single day. 5 new reach outs. 3 follow-ups. Some people, our team, we do 2 dream teamers, like 2 reach outs that we want for dream team people. And then at least 1 Facebook post. And I cannot stress that enough, that your business always needs to be open. Always. And something that will help you guys if you are super busy, like I take tons of pictures when we're on vacation and I use them. Like or Sundays when I'm actually dressed for church and I look halfway presentable, I will even come home and change my outfit and take another picture because I have another picture then stored up. So when I'm like not that you always need to look perfect, like you want to show your audience that it's real life, right? But if your hair's done up and you're feeling good, like take all the pictures, pose for all the selfies, get it all done in one day so you have a week's worth of posts. Another thing that I do is I kind of tend to feel like one day, like if you go to my Insta stories, I'm that person that it's either like no little dots up there or like 700 because I either feel like I have like the world needs to know every single thought or like I don't want to talk to anybody for 3 days. I don't know, that's just the way that I operate. So especially on Facebook, if something like my kids do something and it's funny but I've already shared something that day, I'll take the picture and I'll put it in my notes. So then on a day when I don't feel like posting, I can go back to that post and it's already there. Because some days your brain just needs a dump, right? Like you just need to like chill out and not worry, but you still want your store to be opened. So that's something that's really, really important. You know, you never want anybody to go and see what you're doing and not have had a post or a Plexus post, you know, in a week. Oh, Autumn, I'm praying for you, girl. It is not easy to go through that. But know that there's healing. There's so much healing in this. And there's so many amazing things. I posted about it today with, I can fill you in on this, but different gluten-free options that you can bake with too.
I hope you guys can hear me this time. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Thank you so much, Brianne, for sharing your heart and your amazing story and your advice. And I love the 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. See, even as Sapphires, we still learn something every day. And I'm grateful for my sisters, my Plexus sisters, and all of you. If we don't have any more questions, I won't keep you anymore. I know you're even an hour behind me, so kudos to you. Good thing we don't have to get up super early, I guess. But
no, and I'm sure like we're going to be delayed again tomorrow. I don't think we'll have school, so
well, good. Sleep in.
Yeah, right.
Thank you again so much. I'll stop the recording there.